Everyone, how are you doing? Enjoying the conference? Great. It's always afternoon, first day. It's always tough. So yeah, my presentation is about the things indoor gateway. We announced it this morning. I have now a bit more time to go into the technicalities. So we have been working on this for the last 10 months. I'm taking questions at the end of the presentation. So if you have any, then yeah, feel free to ask me after the presentation. Yeah, so I want to go into some of the technicalities, the mechanics, how it works, and also I have a few screenshots and just a bit of a flow of how you can use it and how we implemented the zero-touch provisioning. So with zero-touch provisioning, we literally mean that, of course, you have to touch it to put a power cable in it, but that's really all you need to do. What we really try to address is people struggling with installing gateways. Normally, and that's what we see, is that it takes an IoT engineer to install a gateway. And even if it takes half an hour, which is very often acceptable, if you do that for thousands of times, it adds up and it costs a lot of money. And it's not only the time that it takes, but also you have to. It's an engineer's time that needs to do that, and it's often the engineer may not be in the location where this gateway is going to be. So you also have the logistics involved of getting the gateway to the person that is able to configure it, or that person has to go to the place where the gateway needs to be installed. And then when the gateway is there, something might be off. And what then the person calls is there, maybe you only have status lights or something like that, and there's not a good way to see what's going on. So those are really day-to-day challenges, and we're not claiming that we can resolve all of this. Gateways are still IoT devices, but we really designed this product to make the installation a lot easier, but also the maintenance and configuration when the device is in the field. So this is what we showed this morning, that we make life a lot easier. So zero-touch provision is also taking away a lot of the tasks that need to be done by people installing gateways today. So all gateways come with a SIM card, and it's a roaming SIM card for US and Canada and for Europe. And so that means that the SIM card connects to any network, multiple networks in those countries. It's a Cat 1 bis modem. I will get to the technicalities in a bit. We manage the firmware updates. So when we release a new version, we basically make it available to the gateways, and the gateways are able to update themselves. And this is also what we're going to make configurable if you want to be on a stable version, or maybe you want to test out new features of the gateway. You will get the choice to do that. You will also be able to choose maintenance windows, even though the gateway, the update process itself causes only maybe a minute of downtime, and that is mostly because when the gateway reboots, it has to reattach to the mobile network, and that may take 10-20 seconds. But normally this goes really quick. So the device configuration, we don't have a local interface. So there's no way, if you have a physical gateway, to go in there with a network cable. It doesn't expose a Wi-Fi access point, nothing. It only has LEDs to show status. And this makes it also secure to some extent. Even if you have physical access to the gateway, it's not possible to reconfigure it. And that also means that once a gateway is installed, you know that the configuration can only be edited and managed from the Thing stack. And you can control who has access to those gateways in the cloud environment using the collaborators to the gateway, just like you can already manage who has access. It automatically chooses the best backhaul for connectivity, so it has cellular, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet, and it can use all three for both management and for the Thing stack. And yeah, there's a lot of monitoring. That's what we do. The gateway is always connected to a central cloud service, even if you use the Thing stack on-premise, so an enterprise version of the thing stack or open source, the gateway is always connected to a cloud service that's operated by us, so we can remotely configure and monitor the gateway. We have a QR code on every gateway, and the QR code is used to claim the gateway. This would mean that you would need to have access to the physical gateway in order to scan the QR code. So this is one way of configuring the gateway. If you buy the gateway through the Things shop, we have an automatic integration with the fulfillment partner that when your gateways get shipped to you, they scan the QR code on the outside of the box. We link that to your order. And then when you go log in into the shop where you ordered the gateway, those gateway EUIs that belong to you, to your order, are automatically listed. And you can easily just take that information, go to the Things stack, wherever you want to claim those gateways. But we are also open to working with fulfillment partners or resellers. In that case, the QR code comes in handy. Or for the second-hand market, this would also work very well. We have a similar claiming setup in the Things stack. So when you want to add the gateway to the Things stack, then you can also use a QR code, but you can also do this in bulk. We will also support exporting CSV files with all the information of gateways if you want to add 100 gateways at once. So that's that. In the Things stack, so we have also a new console, and this was unrelated to the new gateway activities, but this was a lot of our time in the front-end team went to the new console design, and part of that is integrated management of the Things Indoor Gateway Pro. So we have this new screen where you can go to configure Wi-Fi and Ethernet right from the Things stack, and you also see here on the right-hand side the connections that it has. So in this case, the gateway is connected to the gateway controller and the Things stack via cellular, and it only has a cellular connection enabled, which works, but you may not have good cellular coverage, or there might be an issue with the mobile operator in that location, and in that case, it's always recommended to enable Wi-Fi and Ethernet as well. So Wi-Fi is also configuring Wi-Fi is right in the Things stack. So if you want to configure Wi-Fi, it sends a command through the gateway controller, and that sends a command back to the gateway to do an SSID scan. So it scans all the SSIDs and sends it back through the controller to the Things stack, right into this interface. And this allows you to configure Wi-Fi in the Things stack. And you only have to do this once per location, because you can create a profile for a building, for example, and you can then apply that profile to multiple gateways. And similarly, if you want to change your Wi-Fi password, you only have to do that once, and then it will automatically get supplied to all the gateways that are using that profile. So yeah, in this case, I'm creating a shared profile for our company Wi-Fi. So I can just type in the Things Industries, select our SSID, the password, and then I can use static IP, I can use custom DNS if I want to, or if that's needed, and then save configuration, and then it will connect to Wi-Fi, and you will see that in the console. Same for Ethernet. Plug in an Ethernet cable, it automatically uses DHCP, and then you will see also that that is connected. If something breaks, this is updated in real time. So I think this is a video. Yeah, so I unplug the Ethernet cable, and then you see that it connects to cellular. And then after a couple of seconds, it tries to connect to the Things stack using one of the backhauls that is then available. And in this case, that's going to be Wi-Fi or cellular. And then you see here it connects to Wi-Fi. So that's really what we built in the firmware. So a bit of the mechanics and mounting and power options. So this gateway is designed to be installed on the wall, like we have here on the wall of fame, or on the ceiling. But it can also be on a tabletop. It has a really nice mounting back that you can screw in the wall, and then you can mount the gateway with a rotation. And so yeah, it has Ethernet, it has the SIM slot where you can find the SIM card that we already put in there. We have 2 LEDs that will show the status, and that's basically it. So it's very simple. We have 2 power options. One is USB-C power. This is very common. The box also includes USB-C adapter. But there's also DC power, 5 to 12 volts, and it makes it easy to connect it to a building automation system or a backup battery or something like that, or a PoE splitter, cheap PoE splitter. So the gateway doesn't support PoE itself, but there are splitters that use DC power, and that adds, I don't know, 5, 6 euros or something, and that makes it even easier to connect. So yeah, like I said, it's Cat 1 bis, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, Ethernet. The subscription includes a cellular plan, and you can use that cellular data plan for both the gateway management, but also for the thing stack. We have the automatic failover, as you saw. We can show you the MAC addresses, so if networks have MAC address whitelisting, yeah, that's also pretty easy to do. We have static IP settings, custom DNS if that's needed. The Wi-Fi settings can be applied to one gateway or multiple gateways at once. We only have the status LEDs, so it's very simple to configure it and to see if everything is good. And you can also yeah, install the gateway somewhere in a public location, and you know there's no way to go into the configuration by some smart guy with a USB-C cable. We automatically put the gateway on the map. So if you add the gateway in the thing stack, we use Wi-Fi geolocation to see where's the gateway, and then we put it on the map for you. It has a white label design, so we don't put our logo on it. It's just white and blank, and that's because yeah, we want to make it very easy for you just to install it somewhere, even in a public location. And make it some sort of a friendly, anonymous device. Yeah, the flexible antenna design, so you can rotate the antennas for wall mount going up or ceiling mount going down. And yeah, the backplate is very helpful for mounting it on the walls and on the ceiling. The gateway works on all the distributions of the thing stack, so that is enterprise, cloud, sandbox, open source, and cloud discovery. So also the free tier, so open source and cloud discovery and sandbox can be used for this gateway. We designed our own protocol for communications, and that is the most bandwidth efficient packet forwarding protocol out there. It's really designed just for this gateway. It's based on protocol buffers over WebSockets, and it's secured by TLS, and all the gateways are provisioned with a TLS client certificate. Yeah, that's what they use. So yeah, the communication is also secure and encrypted. The subscription includes the cellular data plan for management and the LoRaWAN connectivity, but also the cloud management through the thing stack. So that's it, basically the technicalities in a nutshell. Regarding pricing, this is also what we shared this morning. We have for Europe and for US, we have 2 pricing plans, and we can have a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription. And in volume, we can also do multi-year plans as well as a bring your own SIM. So if you want to buy a lot of gateways and you have your own SIM card provider, then yeah, come talk to us. We do that in volume. So getting started, you can order today on thethingshop.com, and we have gateways in stock, and we ship to US and Canada and to Europe, and we are planning on other regions in the future. And yeah, we have documentation. There's a QR code on the box, and that brings you to the onboarding guide, and then that's it.